And the New York Mets finally, after the rain has subsided, there's a little bit of a mist that's falling right now, but Cole Hamels has been out in the bullpen warming up, so he's just about ready to go as he's loosening up on the hill as we speak. And the folks are settling in. Let's take a look at the Mets starting lineup for tonight. It's brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Leading it off in left field is Eric Young. Daniel Murphy will bat second. David Wright's over at third base. He'll hit third. Chris Young is in center field. He'll bat cleanup. Curtis Granderson bats fifth. Josh Satin sixth. Travis d'Arnaud, the catcher, will hit seventh. Ruben Tejada, the shortstop, bats eighth. At batting ninth and pitching is Jonathan Neese. And they'll face Phillies left-hander Cole Hamels, who's coming off an 86-pitch performance against the Dodgers. Jamie, he didn't get the win, but he established his fastball early, and he showed that he was healthy.
Well, I think the first thing is showing he was healthy, I think, not to himself first and foremost, but to his club, to the management. He threw a very good game. It was a great building block for him. And I think tonight this is just another stepping stone for Cole to establish again, the good fastball that he has to both sides of the plate, especially in using his cutter effectively in and backdooring it to the right-handed hitter. His curveball effectively down and a good changeup, which he has the majority of the time when he pitches.
Yeah, his fastball he threw nearly 60% of the time the last time up. So he'll face Eric Young to start things off, and the first pitch of the night is taken for a strike, so we're underway. Eric Young is hitting just .216, but he's been a menace on the base paths. He has 12 stolen bases. He's been caught just one time. He shows bunt and takes low. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, and Eric Young, he's that kind of a catalyst, and I think he's really helped the Mets this year with getting on base, creating havoc on the bases, stealing bases. As you said, the only thing that I see as a detriment so far with Eric is the amount of strikeouts that he has for a leadoff hitter.
Yeah, 26 strikeouts for Eric Young. The Mets do strike out a lot. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. He fouls that one back.
I had the good fortune of playing with him a couple of years ago, and it looked like he cut his swing down and was just trying to get the ball through the infield. And I think with the amount of strikeouts that he has, his swing has probably gotten a little bit bigger, trying to do a little bit more.
Yeah, the Mets picked him up from the Colorado Rockies last year in the middle of the season. 1-2 pitch. And he fouls it back again. 92 on that fastball, and he was late.
But I like the energy he brings.
Well, the fact that he scored 20 runs and is still hitting .216 lets you know that he's been getting on because of errors. He's also been walking from time to time.
When he puts the ball in play, if it's on the ground in the infield, he forces the defense to catch the ball and get rid of it quickly.
A little high, and it's 2-2. Hamels last year against the Mets was 2-3 with an ERA of 4.94. He has never, as you saw his overall numbers, had great success against the Mets. Or I should say consistent success, just 7-13 for his career. Trying to win his 100th career game. He is 99-75. With a win tonight, he would become the 8th Phillies pitcher to reach 100 wins in a Phil's uniform. 2-2 pitch to Young. Swing and a miss. He got him. 92 on that fastball. Almost looked like it had cutter action on it the way it was coming in.
Looked like he got around that ball a little bit. Had a little bit of cutting action. Carlos looked for, he had to set up down and away, and that ball kind of ran. It was elevated, but it kind of ran back into the middle of the plate.
So what a way. It took 7 pitches to take care of Eric Young, and here's Daniel Murphy. Mets have been moving Murphy around. He's been batting second. He's also batted cleanup. Overall hitting .289, but he's hit in 9 consecutive games. And he hits that one to the right side, make it 10 in a row.
And he has been a little bit of a nemesis for Cole. Coming into this game, he's 12 for 34 with a .353 average. So, again, and he continues that. He's 13 for 35. So,
well, it's time now for our Nissan keys to tonight's ball game.
Well, my belief is Jonathan Neese. He's pretty tough on left-handed hitters. The right-handed hitters need to get to him. And the offense needs to try to keep this momentum that they've created on the road, bring it back home, and move forward with it.
Yeah, the offense, particularly late in the games against the Arizona Diamondbacks, really did their job on this road trip. Here's David Wright. Wright is 22 of 63 against Hamels, and that one's in on the hands. Utley is out there. Yeah, there are 2 outs. We were talking in the office, all of us as a group, and we were discussing some of the keys. And one of the keys you mentioned was to make sure the Mets handled Daniel Murphy and David Wright a little differently in this series.
Most definitely. These guys, both guys have given the Phillies trouble over the last couple of years. David Wright's starting to swing the bat a little bit better, and I know he likes to swing the bat here, particularly at Citizens Bank Park. So trying to keep these 2 guys at bay and make, if they're going to hurt you, have anybody else in the lineup do the damage.
Well, Chris Young is due up. Young, newly acquired by the Mets this past offseason. Spent last year with the Oakland A's and the previous 7 years with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Young was 1 for 7 in the most recent series for the Mets. First pitch inside. It's 1 ball and no strikes.
It's a pretty good pitch right there. And they talk about, why pitchers are getting hit so much with the line drive coming back to them, and I think part of it is because the consistent strike inside is not being called. When so many pitchers pitch away and those hitters get their arms extended, they hit the ball back through the middle.
I even saw it yesterday in a minor league game. B.J. Rosenberg for Lehigh Valley was hit with a ball back to the mound. 2 balls and no strikes to Chris Young.
I think there's so many hitters that just dive out over the plate constantly because they don't have any, I don't say fear of the ball in, but they don't have a fear of strikes being called in consistently.
Outside, 3-0. It is a cold night here in Philadelphia, so you see Cole going to his mouth, being able to blow on his hand to try to stay warm. Curtis Granderson waits on deck. Three balls, no strikes. And that's in there for strike 3 and 1.
Cole's not lacking for velocity, which is good. It's great to see him healthy, and for me, it's exciting to see him pitch for the first time this season.
Out toward right field. It's not that deep. Playable for Marlon Byrd, who comes running in, and the side is retired. So a 14-pitch first inning for Cole Hamels. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left. Middle of the first. Mets nothing. Phillies coming up. First, let's take a look at Ryan Sandberg's starting lineup for today's game, brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Leading it off in center field, Ben Revere. Jimmy Rollins bats second. Chase Utley hits third, followed by Marlon Byrd and Ryan Howard. Carlos Ruiz will bat sixth. Dominic Brown seventh. Playing third base tonight and batting eighth is Jason Nix. And, of course, Hamels will bat ninth. And they'll face left-hander Jonathan Neese, 27 years old. And Neese is 1-2 with an ERA of 2.45. And he's had some success against the Phils during his career. So far, 4 starts this year. 19 strikeouts in 25 and 2/3 innings of work.
He's got a good low to mid 90s fastball, 4-seam and 2-seam, especially throws a 2-seam to get the ground ball. Predominantly a fastball slider pitcher. I've talked to some people that he might have a little split that he tries, but I think it's mostly changeup. But he's going to come after you.
Now, the Phillies are used to seeing him. He's made now 9 starts, counting this one here at Citizens Bank Park. And the rest of his starts against the Phillies have come up at Citi Field, where he's 4-2 with a 1.84 ERA. And Revere lines one out towards center field, and Chris Young is there. Well, that was an odd alignment the Mets had for Ben Revere.
And he hit it right to him.
And he hit it right to them.
I know something.
Yeah, their charts are working. During the 2014 season, Turkey Hill, the official ice cream of the Phillies, will contribute $100 for each Phillies victory and 5 cents for each carton of Phillies Grand Slam ice cream. Sold to support the Phillies youth baseball and softball programs. Now, one out. Here's Jimmy Rollins. Rollins was 3 for 13 in the series against the Diamondbacks. Had a couple RBIs. And he takes low. Overall numbers pretty good. 261, 3 homers and 15 runs batted in. Phillies 1-2 of 3 against the Diamondbacks. They did not have a whole lot of success against the Diamondbacks starters. They scored just 4 runs in 19 1/3 against the starters. The rest of their damage was done against the Diamondbacks bullpen. And Ruiz was a big part of that. Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Colleen Trommer of Trevose. Phillies hit a home run in the game, and Colleen will win $500. Had a little bit of a long ball drought, Jamie. Extra base hits have come, but the long ball has not.
Well, we got the wind blowing out pretty good to left field tonight with a little bit of, I don't know if you want to call it mist or drizzle. It's some form of precipitation.
Swing and a miss. It's 3-2.
That was a long ball swing right there.
It was.
I don't think his eyes really stayed on that pitch.
45 degrees, a little light rain. And Rollins pulls it foul.
A totally different swing right there. Head stayed down on that ball and stayed right through it. And he hit the ball hard. Unfortunately, it was foul.
Rollins pulls it toward David Wright. Wright backs up a little bit and then slings the throw across the diamond in time to get Rollins. Good pick by Josh Satin at first. 2 outs.
David Wright's pretty sure-handed over at third base. He's, whether he's hitting or not, he usually handles himself pretty well at third base. And there's a ball that actually kind of came up, and I don't want to say it ate him up, but it kind of actually came up into his belly, and he stayed with it, got his body in front of it, made that long throw across the diamond for the second out.
Now Chase Utley. Utley is 3rd in the league in batting average, hitting .360 with 3 home runs and 14 runs batted in. Now, when last we saw you, he's cooled off, but he had a decent final game against the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Yeah, and he's getting the hits when they need them, and that's important. But he's still hitting at a mere 260, huh? Or excuse me, 360.
Yeah, he's right behind Troy Tulowitzki and Charlie Blackmon of the Colorado Rockies. Those are the leaders in the National League. 1 ball, 1 strike to Utley. And he pulls it to the right side. Into shallow right is Murphy. And the Phillies are retired on a couple of ground ball outs and a fly ball to center. Nothing across. We've completed our first inning here in Philadelphia. We go to the second. Phillies nothing, Mets nothing. Nationals in the start of a 3-game series. 2 night games, and then Sundays at 3:05 special game time. It's StubHub Mother's Appreciation Day, a free derby hat to women 15 and older. You can get your tickets anytime at Phillies.com. Now Curtis Granderson greets Cole Hamels with a first pitch base hit to right field as we start the second. Granderson was hitting just 129.
And I think that's, as a struggling hitter, that's what you do. You look for the first fastball and you try to hit it hard. And that's exactly what Curtis did.
You know, aside from the postseason, he had never faced Cole Hamels in a regular season game. He'll take his lead off first. He's 2 for 2 in stolen bases, and Josh Satin, who was hitting just a $125, will be the batter for the Mets. Two for 11 in 10 games. As a starter, he's 2 for 11. Playing first base tonight for Lucas Duda. Ground ball towards shortstop. This should be 2. Rollins will take it to the bag himself in time. It's a 6-3 double play. That's a very good decision to take one extra throw out of the equation.
And here you see just a routine ground ball, tailor-made up the middle. Jimmy takes his momentum over to the bag, makes a good throw, gets across the bag, and makes a nice throw to Ryan. Chase gets out of the way. Chase was there waiting, but you're right. Ball's a little slick, coming off that wet grass. Nice decision.
That'll bring Travis d'Arnaud to the plate. d'Arnaud takes outside. 1 ball and no strikes. d'Arnaud was originally the property of the Philadelphia Phillies. He was sent to Toronto on the Roy Halladay deal. Well, the Mets acquired him from the Blue Jays. He's been excellent behind the plate and is just now starting to hit a little bit. And his average at 219.
Oh, and the Mets have, I think, over the last few years, kind of struggled behind home plate, trying to find that everyday catcher.
That combination of offense and defense, which the Phillies have had with Carlos Ruiz for these years.
And then you throw an R.A. Dickey in there who throws a knuckleball. You know, a lot of times too, you almost have a specialist catcher that wears a special glove to catch that pitch.
Ground ball back toward the middle. Utley is there, and he'll throw d'Arnaud out, and the side is retired. Pretty quick inning for Cole Hamels. No runs, 1 hit, and nobody left. We've played 1.5. Marlon Byrd is due up when we return. Mets Phillies series, plus Game 6 of the Flyers Rangers playoff battle. Watch Phillies Sports Talk presented by Comcast Business on Comcast Sportsnet. I hope they can talk about a Game 7 because right now the Flyers lead the Rangers 2-0. Rangers, of course, lead the series 3-2. And that game is in the second period. Just across the street. It was a great eruption of the crowd when Simmons scored the first goal. We were back in the office, and you can sort of hear it even back there when it was on the big screen here at the ballpark.
Passionate fans here in Philadelphia. Yeah, very passionate.
Flyers fans have been loyal from day one. Marlon Bird will lead it off. And Marlon takes high. It's 1-0. Marlon facing the team he played the first half of the season with last year. The team that gave him the chance to get back to the big leagues before he was traded off to the Pirates. And he lines that one to left field. And it's right at Eric Young for the first out. Oh, the rain delay was going on. This is the goal we're talking about up on the big screen. And there was a flurry in front of the net. You can hear JJ in the background. And Simmons, as he said, stayed with it. And gave the Flyers a 1-0 lead. I thought this was a great thing, too. Ready? After Simmons scores, everybody reacts. And they rang the bell here at Citizens Bank Park. There's Ryan Howard batting fifth tonight. Howard takes low.
Ryan doesn't have particularly good numbers against Nice, but swinging the bat a little bit better against left-handed pitching. So it's kind of nice that Ryan Sandberg gave him this opportunity to get in there.
Yeah, part of the Phillies' success this year has been what they've done against left-handers. Now, lefties are 0 for 15 against Nice this year, counting the 2 at-bats tonight between Revere and Chase Utley. But the Phillies as a team hitting .316 against left-handed pitching. Not too shabby. One ball, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. He got him on a high fastball. Yeah, there are 2 outs. Carlos Ruiz is coming up. Let's check in with Murph. Murph?
Well, Tom, it is time for our Lowe's Never Stop Improving player profile, and that player is Carlos Ruiz. He's the National League Player of the Week. He batted .500 over the last week, .909 slugging percentage. How about 6 extra base hits? He also scored 8 runs, knocked in 7. So what a week it was for Carlos Ruiz. And guys, it doesn't feel all that long ago that we were talking about Carlos looking for his first RBI. He now has 7 on the season. So a terrific week. He was honored by the National League. And now the Phil's hoping that he can keep it going back here at Citizens Bank Park.
Yeah, Murph, we look at those numbers. Total bases 20 for the week. Overall now hitting .296 with a home run and 7 runs batted in.
And maybe most importantly, 2 game-winning RBIs in that stretch as well. So hitting them, as Jamie, as you pointed out earlier, when they need them. And that's so important as well.
Well, he's ahead 3-0.
You can see the respect here. They went after him. First pitch curveball for a ball. Second pitch changeup for a ball. Now he tries to lean on a fastball and he throws it away. Carlos is in a great hitting situation right here. And this is why Carlos is the hitter he is.
Ooh, is right. That was
questionable.
Yeah, off the outside part of the plate, but he called it a strike.
Usually if it's close, they call it. I don't know that was that close.
Well, there's ball 4. So Ruiz works out a 2-out walk. First base runner for the Phillies tonight. And that'll bring Dominic Brown to the plate. Dominic's one of the reasons why the Phillies are successful against left-handed pitching. He's hitting .435 against lefties this year. Overall at .264. Toward left field, Young will track it down. Side is retired. Phillies hit 2 balls hard in this inning, but they leave 1. 2 of the books here in South Philadelphia. Still no score. Jamie, you've been off for a little while. I know you've been brushing up on your baseball history, your Phillies history, and everything else. Here's the question. Who was the only team between 1970 and 80, besides the Phils and Pirates, that won the National League East?
Wow. 70 and 80.
There was some dominance going on there between the Pirates and the Phillies.
Yeah.
We'll give that answer in just a little bit. Ruben Tejada will lead it off.
Well, if everything goes as normally does, it's.
I believe that John DeSangro, our associate producer, has given you a layup for your first game back.
Thanks, Singh.
Tejada hitting 200, no home runs, 4 runs batted in. Nix is in a little bit at third. Boy, they are really swinging at the first pitch. That's a fair ball going down the left field line. Dominic Brown will pick it up, and Tejada will slide in safely at second. So a leadoff double. What are you thinking about the first pitch swinging here by the Mets?
Well, I mean, they're going to be aggressive. I don't think Tejada is swinging the bat particularly well. And here's a ball. It's middle of the plate. Why not? I mean, you want those kind of balls to hit. It's a good ball for him to hit. He hasn't been swinging the bat. The ball girl made an attempt for the ball. Luckily, she missed it.
Brown made a good throw. He just couldn't get the ball out of his glove initially. I mean, it was probably wet. Yep.
But I mean, you're looking for probably a better first pitch there. The ball was elevated a little bit in the middle of the plate.
Well, here's Neese. He'll square with a runner at second base, and he takes high. It's 1-0. Mets pitchers are 0 for 41 to start the season. So Tim Tuffle somewhere in there is probably the sacrifice sign for Jonathan Neese. No staff in the National League has opened the season with a longer stretch of offers since 1974. Braves in 2008 and 2011 were 0 for 39. The Mets staff is 0 for 41 at the plate.
Just to show you it's not that easy.
That one's in there for a strike. I knew you'd have empathy for them.
About halfway through spring training, they go, "Oh yeah, we need to have you guys take some swings." And you've been bunting for 3 weeks, and then you go through the soreness of your hands and all that kind of fun stuff, and it's almost an afterthought.
Well, it's a beautiful bunt, and Hamels off the mound will throw to get Neese. Over to third goes Tejada. So the sacrifice is successful, but it's 1-4 on the putout.
But I will tell you, over the course of my career playing in the National League, I have seen some teams that took it very, very serious.
Well, I thought your staff took it serious. I mean,
yeah, oh yeah. But I mean, early in my career, when I was with the Cubs, go play the Dodgers, and they had a catcher catching. They had a pitcher not throwing off the mound, but somebody that threw the ball pretty firm. And when those starting pitchers were in the cage, they were dead serious.
Oh, so you're saying they took the preparation serious?
And you know what? They had some pretty good hitters. They had, Hershiser, Fernando Valenzuela were 2 very good hitters. It just, if you can show your manager that you can handle the bat in many different ways, it gives him more options.
Yeah, Ryan Sandberg was talking about that on the trip because Roberto Hernandez struggled so much even to lay the bunt down. Well, the Phillies will bring the infield in with Eric Young at the plate. He struck out his first time up. That one's in on the hands. He fouls it back. It's 0-1. You can never predict the weather. We have been told, though, that we should be fine until midnight. Although, when there's rain around, and it's been raining since the tarp came off the field, you're always thinking, all right, let's get a run. It's usually the mindset even during a 9-inning game. 1 ball and 1 strike. An update from across the street. There's been a lot happening in the last few moments. The Flyers now lead it 4-0 as Simmons has scored a couple more goals for Philadelphia. Swing and a miss.
That's what you call using a curveball very effectively. He really hasn't. That was the first one he's thrown. Picked a great opportunity and picked a great time to throw it.
1 ball and 2 strikes to Young. Swing and a miss. He got him. Throws back-to-back curveballs, and he gets Young for the second time on strikes. Yeah, there are 2 outs.
And we see another curveball. He trying to get it in the dirt, a chase pitch, and Chooch catches it down on the ground. A very good pitch, and you could tell that Young was full big time on that. He looks like he's geared for the fastball or something out over the plate. That curveball broke down and in, and not sure if he knew what he wanted to do with that at that point in time.
Well, let's see how they pitch Murphy, because he swung at the first pitches last time, and he's now 13 for 35 against Hamels. Come in a little bit. It's 1 ball and no strikes.
Well, he started him in last time. Wasn't quite that far in. It was a little further down. Might have been on the plate, actually.
Just a bit outside. 2-0.
Well, and you pitch too carefully here to Murphy, and you choose your poison. You got Murphy, who swings the bat well against Cole, and you got David Wright, who swings the bat against Cole. So it's a comfortability thing. You don't want to give him too much to swing at here, which is exactly what Cole's doing at this point. To a curveball there, 2-0. It looked like Murphy was taken all the way, and I have a feeling he might be here too.
Fastball in there for a strike. It's 3-1. Murphy was batting cleanup in the most recent series for the Mets. He was 3 for 11 with a few runs scored and 1 RBI. 3-1 pitch. And a line drive toward right field. That's going to drop in for a base hit. Tejada's going to score. Murphy stayed on that changeup, and he picks up his second hit of the night. And it's 1-0 New York here in the 3rd.
You see a changeup, probably middle away, somewhat down. Murphy didn't really try to do a whole lot with it. Tried to use the middle of the field, and that's exactly, he got the result he was looking for.
So Tejada's double to start the inning leads to the first run of the game. Here's David Wright. He popped up to Utley his first time up. Fastball, and it's 0-1. Wright was late on that 92-mile-an-hour fastball. Good spot from Hamels. No balls and 2 strikes.
Almost looks like David Wright's trying to push that ball to right field.
In the dirt, Murphy's heading to second. The throw by Ruiz. He is out at second base. And that'll be the first caught stealing for Daniel Murphy in 27 consecutive tries. Pretty good throw by Carlos Ruiz. The Mets do strike first. We'll go to the bottom of the 3rd. Lottery benefits older Pennsylvanians every day. By WB Mason. You can't go wrong when you buy right. And by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop at ChooseNissan.com. Home half of the third. Mets 1, Phillies nothing. And it'll be Jason Nix, Cole Hamels, and then the top of the order, Ben Revere. Nix getting a chance to play third base today. Partly because he's 4 for 7 against Jonathan Neese. And with Freddie Galvis struggling, Freddie, of course, a switch hitter, and Cody Ashe, a left-handed batter, Ryan Sandberg decided to give the right-handed hitting Jason Nix a chance to get some hacks. He had a home run on the road trip against the Dodgers. Ground ball back to the box, fielded by Neese, 1 away. Well, Jamie Carlos stayed with this ball as it squirted away.
He kept that ball close to him. He got it after it really quickly and made a great throw. You know, all this talk about Carlos being the National League Player of the Week is very deserving on the offensive side, but the defensive side too. The energy that he brought on the road trip, and right there, plays like that. This is what allows him to be the player that he is.
Well, Mike McConey, who's the official scorer, does a great job here in Philadelphia. Just let us know that it's not a caught stealing for Murphy. So his streak of 27 straight stolen bases continues. It's a fielder's choice because Murphy wasn't going until the ball squirted away.
Wasn't he still trying to steal the base?
Yeah, I think from a scoring standpoint, I thought it was caught stealing too, but by rule, it's listed as a fielder's choice.
I'm not arguing. I'm just,
you're just wondering.
He's trying to take the bag, and he got caught.
Round ball. Foul. I believe the ball hit the foot of Cole Hamels. Now it's starting to rain a little harder here in Philadelphia. For the fans that are here tonight, they are hardy fans. Science Festival night. Ground ball right side. Murphy is there and he flips in time. And there are 2 outs. Part of this homestand includes the Toronto Blue Jays. They'll be in town next week here at Citizens Bank Park. Phillies will play 2 against Toronto here, and then they'll be up in Toronto to play a couple Monday and Tuesday. Next Monday's another Hatfield Dollar Dog Night, and then Tuesday is Teva Respiratory Asthma Awareness Night. A free Phillies cap to all fans. You can order your tickets by going to Phillies.com. Mike Bucholder, who's the director of grounds here at Citizens Bank Park. He and his crew do a wonderful job. The field is always in beautiful shape. Ben Revere bunts, and it's a foul ball.
Yeah, I like that idea. The grass is wet. The ball rolls in that grass. You got to handle that ball. You're forcing the defense. You know, the footing. You never know if a guy doesn't get his footing. You're forcing them to do a lot of things.
How about Ben on this road trip? He had 4 straight 2-hit games. 6 of the last 7 on the road trip were 2-hit games. Takes a breaking ball. It's 0-2.
Hit 312. Or is hitting 312, excuse me.
And he's tops in the league in singles. And he got a piece of that one to stay alive. It remains 0-2. Got a piece of the home plate umpire.
When he puts the ball in play, the other thing, as a leadoff guy, he doesn't have a lot of walks. He only has 2 walks for the season. So as an opposing pitcher, it tells me he's going to be swinging the bat. But he has a pretty good eye as well.
Yeah, he's run some deep counts. There have been occasions where he's going up there thinking, all right, I'm going to get a first pitch fastball like Jimmy Rollins used to as a leadoff hitter, and I'm going to go after it. Neese has got that mud all over his spikes, and Revere lines it foul. Oh, that ball was scorched into the seats. Toyota Major League Scoreboard, the Marlins are shutting out the Braves 9-0. Ed Lucas just off the disabled list. Marlins designated Greg Dobbs for assignment. And Lucas 3 for 4 with an RBI to run scored. Outside, 2-2. You
can see it looks a little soft there, but usually, wow. Usually if it's too soft, if you say something, the umpires will bring out the grounds crew and take care of things.
They do look out for you pitchers.
They do.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? You're really susceptible out there. And even though you got cleats on, sometimes it is tough to get some traction. Plus, they use that kitty litter on the top, which I don't really like. But it's pretty much predominant through baseball. It looks pretty, I guess. They call it kitty litter. I don't think it really is kitty litter.
Well, there are some places where they can't always use the diamond dry that they do use kitty litter. Cat litter.
Yeah. I use it at my house, too, on my mount, on our mound.
And a called strike 3. Revere's down looking. And that's the second strikeout for Jonathan Neese. He is not allowed to hit through 3 innings. The work on the grounds. When we get back, we'll have the top of the 4th. Packs offer savings and are guaranteed to work the first time every time. Order from WB Mason by 11:30 a.m. and get free same-day delivery. Nobody beats WB on HP. We go to the top of the 4th. Phillies trail at 1-0. Who says the rain bothers folks? Those ponchos, they're all over the place. They can still settle in and do a little bongo cam.
They look quite happy, to be honest.
Yes, they do. Jamie Green means go, so we're going to go here in the top of the 4th. And David Wright, who was up at the plate when Daniel Murphy was thrown out by Carlos Ruiz. To end the top of the 3rd, we'll start things off. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Toward left field, Dominic Brown venturing back. He's got room. And a step from the track makes the catch. One away here in the top of the 4th.
I think he got that one just off the end a little bit.
David Wright has hit 19 home runs here at Citizens Bank Park. Yep. And that brings us to our Mazda leaders. David is 3rd among right-handed batters against left-handed pitching. I shouldn't say that. It's 3rd among hitters against left-handed pitching because Ichiro is 5th on that list. A lefty against a lefty.
Oh, I helped get him there. I can tell you that one.
That's it there for a strike. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Chris Young flied to right his first time. Give me some insight on what it's like to pitch on a night like this. I mean, you pitched Game 3 of the World Series and it kind of like a night like this.
You know, when it could have been a blizzard, I wouldn't have cared. But you know, on a night like tonight, you want to feel like you have a grip on the ball. You know, being able to blow in your hands really does help. And you want to have your footing. I mean, to me, those are the two most important things. And a dry ball.
Yeah, I think we forget about footing. I mean, we really do. We think about the ball slipping out of the pitcher's hands and, you know, that kind of thing.
But footing is very important. You know, when you don't have it, when you don't feel like you have it, you know, it's not a very comforting feeling. And like you said, Mike does a great job here and his staff with this field. And you know, pretty much around Major League Baseball, they all do a really good job. And, you know, they have ways of drying things and they don't let the conditions get out of hand.
Curtis Granderson up for the second time. He singled his first time up. First pitch is over on the inside part of the plate. It's 0-1. Granderson signed a 4-year, $60 million contract with the Mets this past offseason. He went from one borough to another. He played the last 4 years with the Yankees.
I wonder what that's like to play in New York, both teams in New York.
I think the good thing is you don't have to sell your place.
That's a good point.
For him, I think the hardest thing is he's making the transition, and I don't know how hard it is, but from the American League to the National League for the first time as a hitter. Inside, 2-1.
Well, the distance to the plate is the same. The width of the plate is the same. The umpires are the same. The rules are the same. I think some of that's
up in their head,
above your shoulders.
They need Gene Hackman to come out and measure it like he did at Hoosiers. Swing at a foul tip, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I will say maybe in the American League, I haven't been around it as much in the recent years, you may see a few more breaking balls than you will in the National League. I've noticed when I first came over here from the American League, threw far more fastballs. Even me, not throwing very hard.
Interesting. Ball squirts through Ruiz, and going up to second is Chris Young.
It's a fastball. It just gets underneath Carlos's glove and squirts away. Think about how many times these guys catch a ball that's pitched to them over the course of a year. It's amazing.
And there's ball 4, so back-to-back walks put runners on first and second. That ball looked like it did just slip right out of Cole's hand.
Well, one thing I always try to remind Cole, especially when he first came up, you're one pitch away. And you can look at it either way. But from the defensive side, you're one pitch. Make a pitch here. Get yourself a ground ball. Turn yourself a double play.
Kind of like the last time Satin was up.
Exactly.
They rolled into the 6-3 double play. A little high. 1 ball, no strikes.
This guy's got a little power, too. I saw him 2 years ago in minor league baseball. He's got some strength. He's got some power. If you elevate the ball, throw something medium speed out over the plate. And he will spin on the ball every now and then. And here, I almost feel like Cole's kind of lost his tempo, his rhythm a little bit. Almost like he's a little frustrated. It looked like he overthrew that pitch.
Well, good time for Ruiz to go out and talk to him. Rollins out there as well. Hey fans, the next time you're looking to pick up great seats to the game, head to StubHub, where you can earn 2% back in fan rewards on every purchase, including Phillies tickets. StubHub, your ticket to upgrades and more.
You gotta be careful here. 2-0 count. You won't just lay it in there, but you do have to be aggressive with a strike. You want to get him to swing the bat here or throw a strike, either one if he's taken. You know, they may have him taken here, try to get to 3-0. Travis is swinging the bat pretty well, the hitter behind him. Starting to swing the bat pretty well, excuse me.
Well, no doubt, without holding Granderson on at first, the base runners are creeping into Cole's mind here a little bit. He's turned back towards second a couple times. In the dirt, blocked by Ruiz. It's 3-0. There's d'Arnaud waiting on deck. Five 3-ball counts already for Hamels. That's a pitcher's pitch right there. Three balls and 2 strikes to Josh Satin with runners on first and second. Runners go, and the pitch is lined to center field, a base hit. Young will score. Granderson's on his way to third. He'll get there. And it's 2-0 New York. An RBI single for Josh Satin. And now runners on first and third with 1 man down. Just the 3rd RBI of the season for Satin.
Worked so hard to get back into that count. Threw a fastball out over the plate. Satin did a nice job again, keeping the ball in the middle of the diamond. Not trying to do too much, as Matt would say, right?
Yep.
Don't try to do too much.
Well, now d'Arnaud with the Phillies playing the infield in halfway on the left side. 1 ball and no strikes.
Yeah, that's how I struggle with that ball there. I mean, it's. I'd like to see it straight on. It might be a little bit off the plate, but it's too close to take.
That was a cutter, and it's 1-1. The Phillies play the infield at this depth right now, and it'll be up to the infielders to decide whether they're going to come to the plate or they're going to try to turn 2. One ball, 1 strike to d'Arnaud. And a curveball drops in, 1-2.
That changes the game a little bit right there when you can get that pitch over the plate. Especially when you're throwing a lot of fastballs. He really hasn't thrown a whole lot of changeups tonight.
No, you're right.
And it may be part of his game plan. I don't know. Or he just may not have a feel for it.
There he goes. Throws a changeup, and d'Arnaud is down swinging. 3rd strikeout for Hamels. There are 2 outs here in the 4th. MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, is celebrating 12 years. Join the millions of subscribers. Watch every out-of-market game live in true HD on over 400 devices. Visit Phillies.com for details. So 2 outs, runners on first and third. Now, Tejada's not having a good year, but he hit .333 against the Phillies last season. And he's already gotten a double here tonight.
I think, again, here's a guy he's a pretty decent mistake hitter. I think if you make good quality pitches to him, you're gonna keep him at bay. I mean, there's a reason he's hitting .212.
Low it in, 1-0.
Partly it's trying to get ahead of him.
Granderson's at third. Sattin's at first. Curveball, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. He's probably thrown that tonight as much as he's thrown the changeup.
Actually, he's probably thrown it more.
Well, this is the inning for Hamels.
And you can see that the response the hitters are giving. Nobody's had a good swing at it. That's the pitch he's just missing, and I think that's really been the difference maker for Cole tonight.
He throws the changeup, and now it's even 2 balls and 2 strikes. Boy, the last 2 changeups have been exceptional.
It's all about arm speed. When you can sell it with your arm speed, making it look like a fastball, it really makes a big difference.
The Mets have scored a run here in the top of the 4th. Two balls, 2 strikes. And a fastball outside, 3-2. So that means Sattin will be off and running from first. Nice is on deck. And ball 4, so that'll load up the bases. Now, it's not the worst thing in the world, except that you'd love to have the pitcher lead off the 5th. But you do have the bases loaded for Jonathan Nice.
Just more pitches.
Yeah.
You're asking, and I think we just saw he was up to 25 pitches before this at bat. So to put him over the 30 mark, and that's forcing him to labor. This is still only his 2nd outing. You're right. I'd much rather have the pitcher lead off. And you start him off with the changeup. Again, trying to force him to swing the bat there.
Fastball outside. It's 2-0. Don't normally see splits like this with Cole Hamels. 33 balls, 36 strikes.
He's out. His tempo is off, and I think he's just lost the feel for how that ball's coming out of his hand. A couple fastballs he's kind of pushed. He's got his hand underneath of him. I think he's trying to force it up there instead of just relax and let it go. See the difference right there?
Yeah.
Between that pitch and some of those elevated fastballs? Or to ball 4 to Tejada right there. I think there's a big difference.
2 balls, 1 strike to Nice. And now 3-1.
You can't be too fine. You have the pitcher up. You gotta give him respect. He's got a bat in his hand, but he has to square that ball up. And now you go 3-1. There's a good chance he's taking here. Because if you don't throw a strike, it's a run.
Nice just said, what? It's 3-2. The runners will be off. 2 outs here in the top of the 4th inning.
He's also saying, I want that pitch. That's probably what he's thinking.
Cole trying to get through this inning by allowing just the 1 run. Runners go, the 3-2. Inside, ball 4, and he just forced it a run. He walked the pitcher with the bases loaded, and it's 3-0 New York. And Bob McClure is heading out to the mound. That's 4 walks in the inning for Cole. And the top of the order is due up for New York.
When you get into these situations sometimes, I feel like I'm going to pitch. It's not like you're trying, but you start pitching away from contact. And then you start nibbling. Then you start getting aggressive. Then you lose focus on what happens about with down and away or down the middle down, strike one. Get back to the basics. And you go from a potential, all right, maybe you give up one run. Now you potentially give up several runs.
Right.
And you've turned the.
Well, here's Eric Young. He's gotten him on strikes twice. So Young's 0 for 2. Again, the bases are loaded.
And it's his third at bat.
Yeah, we're only in the 4th inning. Up high, 1 ball, no strikes. Last 7 games, the starters collectively have done a nice job. A 2.53 ERA coming into this ball game. That one's out towards second. It's a spinner. Utley's got it. And the side is retired. But 2 more runs score for the Mets. They send 8 men to the plate here at the top of the 4th. They leave them loaded. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th. Jimmy Rollins will start things off for the Phillies. ChevyDealer.com. By Thomas Jefferson University Hospitals. Call 800-JEFF now for an appointment. And by Toyota. Toyota's #1 for everyone sales event is going on now. Toyota. Let's go places. As the rain falls here at Citizens Bank Park, we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. The Phillies trail at 3-0. A reminder that Wednesday night at 6, Ryan Sandberg talks about managing one of this generation's best in Chase Utley. And we'll examine how Cliff Lee controls the strike zone. Catch Phillies Clubhouse, presented by Mercedes-Benz, right here on the Comcast Network. See the rainfall. It has picked up a little bit. This is the way the night's going to go. It's going to be on and off. Ryan Sandberg has talked about how much he's enjoyed watching Chase Utley these last couple of years. First as a coach, and then as his manager. Jimmy Rollins will lead it off, and Rollins takes a strike. It's 0-1. Rollins grounded out to short his first time up.
It's like the rain's a little bit harder right now.
Yeah, I think the way it seems, I mean, it's tough to tell from a weather report because it looked like it was going to be clear, but it looks like it's going to be stop and start the whole night.
Well, they need to find a way to get Jonathan Neese to throw a few more pitches here. Started this inning with 41 pitches. Make him work a little bit.
Yeah, only walked one batter. He hasn't allowed a hit yet. And Rollins lifts it in the air to right field. Granderson didn't see it right away. Now he recovers. And one away here in the 4th. Utley grounded out to second base his first time up, so he's 0 for 1. He slipped and the ball slipped. So it's 1-0.
When he comes at you, Jonathan Nice has the ability to do a lot of different things just with his fastball. He uses it down, he adds and subtracts with it, but he'll throw it up and even higher than high. And to me, having that ability to do several things with your fastball just makes you a little more unpredictable, especially with 2 strikes. He'll elevate his fastball, and he does it quite well, and he gets a lot of chases with it.
In lifetime, he's just 2 games over 500, and he's a 500 pitcher against the Phillies. It just seems like he's had more. He has 6 losses. He's 6-6, but it seems like he's had more success than failure against the Phillies. I don't know what it is. I know his record says 6-6, but you didn't need that card, did you? That just went out the booth.
It was actually Jonathan Nice's card. So
yeah, you got everything down on him. You've got it all to memory, Jamie.
Maybe it'll bring us some direction.
Ready?
Who took my card?
Out toward left field, and again Eric Young is there. 2 outs. Marlon Byrd's coming up. Let's go to Greg Murphy, who's nice and dry, right, Murph?
Well, I wouldn't say nice and dry, but we're kind of dodging the raindrops right now. Tom, the Mets come into Philadelphia with a 14-11 record, 3 games over 500. But if you take a look at their offensive numbers, they are second to last in team batting average and dead last in on-base percentage. So how are they doing it? Well, they're doing it with starting pitching. As you guys have talked about, Jonathan Nice has been real good this year. You look at his ERA, 2.45. Collectively, 3.46 ERA for their starters. And get this, guys, 17 quality starts in their 25 games. And I was talking to some of the folks over in the Mets clubhouse, and they said you add that into some very timely hitting, getting some hits when they need them, and that's it. They've been winning ball games. So 14-11, a good start for the New York Mets.
They've also just put the ball in play, and there's been the other team's made some errors. That ball is scorched deep to left field, and the first hit for the Phils is a home run from Marlon Byrd. So the Phillies are on the board here at the bottom of the 4th inning. It's a 3-1 ball game. On the road trip, Jamie, we called that rally Murph, and he does it again. Just give Murph the microphone, and the Phillies are going to score a run.
I like it.
Now that makes a winner out of Colleen Trommer of Trevose. She's just won $500 thanks to Marlon Byrd in the McDonald's home run jackpot.
You see a fastball. So Bjorn had wanted it down and in. He got it down. I don't think he got it quite in enough. And he'd been in there several pitches before with Marlon, and he was looking for the ball in there.
Ryan Howard takes a pitch for a strike. It's 0-1. 3rd home run of the year for Marlon, hitting over 360 against left-handed pitching. Ooh, good swing by Howard. He just missed it. He fouled it back. It's 0-2.
And the thing with Nice, you're going to get a lot of fastballs. So you know what? I think it's let it rip. Don't hold back. Force him to make the change.
There's a curveball whacked toward right. Granderson's not going to get that one. It's off the base of the wall, and Howard's going to hold up at first base. That is a long, hard hit single.
So he got a very favorable bounce there.
He did.
I think he misplayed it off the bat, and it looked like it worked to his favor. It hit the base of the wall and bounced right back to him. I don't know if he saw it off the bat, but the ball had some top spin. And I really thought Ryan was going to be able to get a double out of it, the way he played that ball in right field. But like I said, it bounced right back to him.
That'll bring Ruiz to the plate. He walked his first time up. Ryan Howard has a very short lead over at first base.
Pitching very careful to Carlos. Even though he's giving him fastballs, it's not on a big part of the plate.
Carlos is 7 for 14 against left-handed pitching so far this season. And it's 3 balls and 1 strike. Dominic Brown is on deck. And Carlos hits it on 1 hop. It's knocked down by Murphy. And he has time to throw him out, so the side is retired. Phillies do get a couple hits in the inning, including Marlon Byrd's home run to left field. We've completed 4. Mets 3, Phillies 1. Answer. All right, Jamie, what was the only team between 1970 and 1980 besides the Phillies and Pirates that won the National League East?
I'm going to have to say the Mets.
You know what year it was?
Oh, you didn't ask me that. Now you want to throw that in. I need another 3 innings to think about that. 70. Wow. Say you throw out a number, 72.
72 is incorrect.
Oh, yeah, that's okay.
That's right. 1973, the New York Mets won the National League East. You can log back on to Phillies.com and find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack. Jamie got half the prize pack.
Okay.
So there's at least another half of the home version of the Jeep Stump the Fans trivia question.
I have to talk to Sang about putting the whole question on.
Name the team and the year. Well, here's Daniel Murphy. He's 2 for 2 tonight with an RBI. His RBI single came in the 3rd. 3-1 ball game. And the first pitch from Hamels. A little high, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. Look at Murphy's uniform, partly from the slide that he made when Carlos Ruiz threw him out. But he was also knocked to the ground by that ball that Ruiz just hit to end the bottom of the 4th inning.
That ball really, it was hit hard, but it really skipped off that grass. It's a tough play. It's a really tough play.
1 ball, 1 strike to Murphy. tied up in that gentleman's poncho. One and two to Murphy. And the pitch from Hamels. In the dirt, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
It almost looks like at times Cole's trying to force the ball up there. Just easy mechanics, nice and easy, little tempo. Let your arm be the whip and just get the ball to your release point and finish.
That one is served into left field, so Murphy is 3 for 3. He's thinking 2 out of the box, but he puts the brakes on. So he has 3 straight singles. Well, here's how the Mets have gotten their runs tonight. First one of the 3rd inning, that's Daniel Murphy. Little bloop into right field. That was against a changeup. And then in the 4th, Cole had some trouble with his commands. RBI single by Satin that scored Chris Young, and then the walk to Nice forced in a run. So here we are at the top of the 5th. The Mets have a base runner. They lead it 3-1.
A hit and run here at some point in this at bat, potentially.
Yeah, you could. Right side is wide open. If they have Utley cover, which they probably would, David Wright can serve the ball the opposite way.
He can serve it that way, and he can hit it with authority that way.
1 ball, no strikes. In the dirt, 2-0. Wright is 0 for 2. He's popped out to second. He's flied out to left. Mentioned he has 19 home runs here at Citizens Bank Park against the Phillies. 32 overall. The 32 home runs against the Phillies are tied for the most against any opponent. He has 32 against the Braves during his career. Inside now, 3-1. Bob McClure's going to the phone, so they're going to get somebody up. Hamels is at 85 pitches. Figure it's going to be Manship that they'll get up, although it might be somebody else in the middle of an inning, and then they have Manship start the next inning. We'll see. Fly ball, center field. Benavides is there. It's not deep. And Revere comes running in, makes the catch.
Well, Cole's spot is due up 3rd next inning.
On Tuesday, May 13th, the Phillies will entertain the Angels. That's right, the LA Angels will be coming to town. The 13th is Wistar Institute Melanoma Awareness Day, presented by Independence Blue Cross and Citizens Bank. A free Phillies set of sunglasses for all fans on Wednesday the 14th. It's Citizens Bank Business Person Special and a Modell Senior Stroll the Bases postgame. Don't forget Mike Trout's coming to town to play here at Citizens Bank Park for the first time as a professional. Chris Young takes strike 1. It's 0-1. Mike, of course, grew up in Millville, just across the bridge in New Jersey. What a wonderful talent he was as an amateur. There's Roberto Hernandez who's warming up. The Phillies are going to skip his spot in the rotation with the off day on Thursday. Kind of figured he'd be available as a long man tomorrow. I didn't think it would be today, but it makes sense if he's not going to pitch his next turn in the rotation.
Well, and the other thought that may be going into that is that there may not be a tomorrow as far as a game with the weather forecast.
It's true.
Not to predict that I don't want a game, but I'm thinking, you have to think about.
You're a former professional baseball player. You've done weather in your head before.
You want them to stay as fresh as you can. So give them what you can tonight.
1-2 to Young. Back-to-back pitches just off the inside part of the plate, and it's 2-2. Balls and 2 strikes to Young. Runner goes. Pitch is taken outside. The throw to second is not in time. So 28 straight stolen bases for Daniel Murphy, 6 for 6 this year. And he's going to have to change his belt or his jersey or something eventually. Line drive, base hit it to right center field. Murphy's going to score. That one's going to go to the track, and Young will pull him to second with an RBI double. So it's 4-1. Mets on top. Their lead is back to 3. You figure Roberto Hernandez is almost ready, but Bob McClure is going to go out and talk to Hamels, give him some more time. Well, that's 7 hits now for the Mets. And we're just in the top of the 5th. Every pitcher has games like this.
Yep, you do. You try to minimize the damage. But you're also trying to get as deep as yourself as deep as you can into the game to save your bullpen. It's not to stay away from the long man, but you don't know what's going to happen down the road. You want to give those guys as much rest as you can because you really rely on them over the course of a season a great deal.
Yeah, A.J. Burnett went 8 innings on Sunday against the Diamondbacks. He allowed 5 hits and 8 strikeouts. Around baseball, a third of all the starting pitchers threw 7 innings and allowed 3 hits or less. A.J. wasn't part of that, but he allowed just 5 hits in 8 innings of work. As Rollins comes sneaking in behind Chris Young. AJ was good on Sunday, boy. He was mixing up the Diamondbacks. Granderson has been on base twice. He has singled and walked.
Well, AJ in the beginning of the season really had some issues with rushing, and it seems like the support hernia thing has kind of slowed him down a bit.
Yeah, in Los Angeles, he had a very good curveball. Both of them, because his fastball, he wasn't throwing it for strikes as consistently as he would like. Sunday, he had everything going. And that one pulled toward first, picked on one hop by Howard. Young was going back to second, so he'll still hang out there. 3 unassisted, 2 outs here in the 5th. It's now time for you to tweet your photo using hashtag AT&T Philly Photo for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast. It's brought to you by AT&T. That's a new promo. There you go. Your hashtag ATT Philly Photo. Let's see how creative you can get with your photos. They don't have to be here at the ballpark. They can be anywhere that you are enjoying some Phillies baseball. Josh Satin takes a strike. It's 0-1.
Might be some creative ones across the street tonight.
There's a pretty good chance. I wonder if anybody has any photos of the hats they threw on the ice when Simmons recorded the hat trick. What was it, over 600 hats went onto the ice?
639.
That's a lot of hats. Curveball 0-2 to Satin.
Think about when you go to a hat shop looking at hats. That's like going into a hat shop.
Yeah, I don't even know if some of the hat shops that I've got into. Well, no, there's probably more than 600, but they don't look all like that. More like the baseball cap variety. 0-2 pitch coming to Satin. And they'll turn back toward Young. He was taking a few extra steps off the second base bag. I don't know if any of those hats were thrown onto the ice tonight. The dangle hat.
You ever wonder who came up with that idea?
The dangle hat?
No, for a hat trick, throwing hats on the ice.
Oh, that's a good question. So, I'm sure that somebody knows the answer to that when it first happened. I don't know. It's a great idea, though. But somebody, just don't wear your favorite hat to the game.
What about if a guy strikes out 3 times?
In the dirt, it's 2-2.
Maybe throw things on top of the dugout.
I don't know if a hitter wants to be acknowledged if he's been struck out 3 times in a game.
Oh, goalie's given up 3 goals.
That is true. You got to make it a little bit more, though. If a pitcher strikes out, I don't know, if he strikes out 10 or more, then you can throw something onto the field. Another one in the dirt that actually got a piece of satin. So runners on first and second with 2 men down. Cole's given up a lot of base runners here tonight. Yeah, Young went to third, but they sent him back to second base. Darno's grounded out to second. He's also struck out.
Sometimes you get in these situations, as Cole's pitched tonight, and I know for myself, there are times I just say, look, throw the ball down the middle of the plate. And sometimes you can't even do that.
It's almost like that at bat to Nice. You know, he was trying, obviously, not to walk him. Well, he was trying to throw one where he'd see if he could put it in play.
Right. And I think that's, to me, it's almost the backwards way of thinking. All right, I don't want to walk him. How about we say, let's throw a quality pitch here. Take the positive side of it. Let's pick a big part of the plate and force myself to think of the positive and make a good pitch.
Outside, 3-1.
Because on nights like this, you do tend to get a little frustrated, and then you let your emotions get in the way, and you end up overthrowing. You lose velocity. Your velocity is not there. The life on the ball isn't there, and your location definitely isn't there. And we've seen that tonight a great deal with Cole.
Well, there's ball 4. It's not often that Cole walks this many guys in a game. Just not his style. They're making a decision right now as to whether they should go get him at this point. They would obviously love for him to finish the 5th. He is due up 3rd. But they also can't allow any more damage. They're down by 3 here in the top of the 5th. And aside from the home run by Marlon Byrd, they haven't managed a whole lot against Jonathan Nice.
You hope maybe the long inning kind of freezes him a little bit.
Stiffens him up. Good change up, but it's 0-1.
First ball swinging again.
Well, he did in his first at bat. He doubled down the left field line. Last at bat, he worked out a walk.
3 of their hits tonight are on the first pitch.
And that's going to be floated out towards center. It's going to drop in front of Revere. 2 runs will score. Revere's going to let it fly, and it's not in time. And the Mets have tacked on here in the 5th inning. And they now lead it 6-1, and that's going to be it for Cole Hamels. Well, a lot of the storyline coming into this ball game was that the Mets weren't a very good hitting team, and they weren't. They were hitting .218 as a team coming in, which was worst in the National League. But tonight, they have banged out 8 base hits. And the last 2 innings, Cole Hamels thrown more than 60 pitches. And we've got a pitching change here in Philadelphia. Partnership led by the Pennsylvania Horticultural Society to plant 1 million trees in the Delaware Valley by 2020. Sign up now for a complimentary tree in recognition of Earth Day. Visit Phillies.com/redgoesgreen for more information and to secure a Phillies tree. 3 states, 13 counties, 1 tree at a time. Well, as we continue along here at the top of the 5th inning, the Mets have scored 6 runs overall, 3 in this inning, 2 in the 4th, 1 in the 3rd. And Cole Hamels' night is done after 4 2/3. He'll give way to Roberto Hernandez, working out of the bullpen. And Hernandez will face Jonathan Neese, who does have an RBI tonight on a walk. And he has sacrificed. You saw Hernandez's numbers. He's working with 2 on and 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th, or excuse me, top of the 5th. And the first pitch is outside, 1-0.
Well, with Cole's night, 11 first pitch strikes with 26 hitters. That tells a little bit of the story right there. 6 ground ball outs, 4 fly ball outs. And only 3 strikeouts.
The first couple innings, he looked like the way he looked in Los Angeles, where he was just so free and easy, and everything looked like it was coming easy. 1 ball and 1 strike to Neese. Swing and a miss. It's 1-2.
That leadoff double to start the 3rd inning to Tejada. I think kind of opened the gates.
Yeah, he eventually came around and scored an RBI single by Daniel Murphy. A little low, 2-2.
He was actually 3 for 3 tonight off Cole.
3 for 3 with an RBI and a run scored and a stolen base. And a called strike 3. Side is retired. However, the Mets do score 3 more runs. They leave a couple. A 2-run single by Ruben Tejada will go to the bottom of the 5th. It's 6-1 New York. Park. It's a special game time, 3:05. It's StubHub Mother's Appreciation Day. A free straw large brim style derby hat for women 15 and older. Compliments of StubHub. Great baseball matchup and a free gift for women. Plan now and order your tickets at Phillies.com. Bottom of the 5th, Mets 6, Phillies 1. Jonathan Neese has allowed just 2 hits. They both came in the 4th. All right, so now the Phillies have some ground to make up offensively. They've got to solve Jonathan Neese. It's going to be Dominic Brown, Jason Nix, and then you assume a pinch hitter. Because Mario Hollins is starting to throw in the bullpen for the Phils. Dominic takes low and away, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. There's Mario. Phillies started to get Neese a little uncomfortable in the last inning. Let's see if they can get him back into that uncomfortable mode.
I don't know that if his ball's moving that much, but Travis has caught a couple balls tonight where he's really kind of boxed them.
I know, watching it from the center field camera, some of his fastballs have looked like cutters, the way they've sort of cut away from the lefties and into the right-handed hitters.
That's why I don't want to beat him up and say he's catching them poorly. It might be just because of the movement.
Yeah. Popped him up. Third base side, foul territory. The Wind's got hold of it, and Wright makes the catch. 1 out. And that'll bring Jason Nix up to the plate.
Well, I think it just goes to show you too. Jonathan Neese has thrown a lot of fastballs tonight, but he's located them well, or with 2 strikes, he's forced the Phillies to chase them. And it just goes to show you the importance of using a fastball effectively, and I think this is a great example tonight.
Yeah, because you don't have to be overpowering as long as you can move it around a little bit. At least that's the way it seems tonight. That's at 90 miles an hour. He's not going to get much more than 90 miles an hour.
And if he does, it's 92, 93, but he's not going to pitch at 92, 93. But being able to change speeds with it, change locations with it, he's getting the results he's looking for. And he's really, tonight, he's been a 2-pitch pitcher. I mean, he's thrown a couple cutters. Sparingly, he's thrown a changeup, and he's thrown a couple curveballs.
1 ball, 1 strike to Nix. A little low, 2-1.
Get him for 4 changeups and 4 curveballs.
And just about everything else fastballs.
And a couple of cutters and everything else a fastball.
Another pop up, this one toward the center of the diamond. Now the Wind's going to take it back to the left, and Tejada will track it and make the catch. And the Wind has kind of played tricks on the last 2 pop ups on the infield. And that'll bring Tony Gwynn to the plate as a pinch hitter here in the bottom of the 5th.
And again, this is another great example of how hitters get themselves out. There's no trick tonight with what Neese is doing. It's just the hitters are getting themselves out, and that happens. I mean, it's when you're getting 500 and 600 bats a season, it's going to happen. You're going to have those types of nights.
Tony Gwynn Jr. as a pinch hitter takes at the knees. It's 0-1.
But the Phillies have not forced him to make any adjustments at this point. And he's now just facing his 18th hitter. This is his 2nd time through the lineup.
Yeah, he's kind of cruising through. He's only allowed the 2 hits, the home run by Bird and the single by Ryan Howard.
That was a strike earlier.
There's guys all around the field saying, "Hey, call that on me." 3-1. He went 3-1 to Dominic Brown. Now he's 3-1 to Gwynn. And Gwynn pulls it to first. Satin stays with it. And the Phillies are retired in order here in the bottom of the 5th inning. So 5 in the books. The Phillies open up this homestand. We go to the 6th. Mario Hollins is coming on. The Phillies down by 5. The week is back in the swing of things after a tough start to the season. Ryan Howard struggled out of the gate, but the high elevation in Denver elevated his success at the plate that everyone was watching for. Ryan delivered his 10th career 4-hit game, plus the power and consistency are back in his swing. Production is a big piece of the Phillies' success. The big piece is providing that production. And it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Now the Phillies trail at 6-1 as we go to the top of the 6th inning. The top of the order is due up for the Mets. It'll be Eric Young, Daniel Murphy, and David Wright. And speaking of Eric Young, here's our Geico quote of the day. And it comes from Terry Collins. And a lot of it is what you talked about, Jamie, in the outset of our telecast. First of all, he's a master at his trade. He studies pitchers. He and Tom Goodwin, that is the first base coach, get together every day and they talk about the films that we have on moves. The first, and he really studies it. You've got to turn him loose. He's a daring guy and base stealers have to be. Tom Goodwin was a good base stealer himself when he was a player. And now he's kind of carried it over to being a coach for the Mets. Eric Young has taken that advice and has stolen 12 bases this year. Mario Hollins is the new pitcher for the Phillies as we go to the top of the 6th. There's Mario's numbers in 10 games. 9 innings and 5 strikeouts. First chance for the Mets to see him. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. One and 2. Phillies had another situation on the road. I guess it was Denver. And I forget who the home plate umpire was. Kind of had trouble picking up some of the movement that Mario Hollins was throwing his way. Hollins has to hurry and gets it over to get Young. And there's 1 out. That says a lot about young Mario's ability. When the umpire says that he missed a couple of pitches because he's having trouble with the movement, he's also talking about trying to pick the ball up as Mario releases it. He too, like a hitter, is having trouble picking it up.
Yeah, it's not an easy task to be an umpire. Again, they make it look easy, but it is difficult to be an umpire. And you're seeing a lot of pitches from a lot of different pitchers. You got catchers in front of you. Sometimes they block the view that you have. And I know people say, oh, well, they're taught. They should be, better at it. Well, yeah, but you don't know what's going to happen as the pitch is coming, how the catcher's going to react to it.
Yeah, I think it was Tom Hallion, who was the home plate umpire in spring training, that's kind of talked about Mario Hollins was tough to see that he missed a few pitches. And, that's a great compliment.
It sure is.
For a pitcher.
It sure is.
Corey Blazer, the home plate umpire, sets up on the inside. Outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes to Daniel Murphy, who has 3 hits tonight, an RBI and a run scored. Sandberg's team 1 game over 500. He's 33-34 as a manager for the Phillies, counting last year. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Out of play. Well, it's a final over at the Wells Fargo Center. There will be a Game 7 tomorrow. It'll be on Comcast Sportsnet beginning at 7 o'clock. That series tied at 3. So that means we'll be on the Comcast network tomorrow night. What a win. 5-2. They were just pounding him. Swing and a miss. He got him with a breaking pitch, and Murphy is struck out. So 2 outs here in the top of the 6th.
They were pounding him in a couple of ways. I think we saw some fights.
There was some pounding going on. Looking at the stats, 36 shots on goal, 34 saves by Mason tonight. Jumping out to that lead certainly helps. Here's David Wright with 2 away. He's 0 for 3. First pitch a little low, 94 on that fastball, and it's 1-0. I think Matt was over at the game tonight. He said that if they had won, he was going to go up to the Garden tomorrow to watch Game 7.
I think you ought to rent a train car and go up there with the fans. I think that he'd have fun with that.
I tried to tell him, though, that he's going to have tickets for this one. He's got to actually get tickets to go.
He can't use his media pass?
I don't think he can use his media pass. Over to shortstop to his left is Rollins. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Mario Holland. So a couple of ground ball outs and a strikeout. That's a retired in order. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Ben Revere will lead it off. TNT, mobilizing your world. By Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today. And by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Bottom of the 6th inning, Phillies down 6-1. There's the trio of starting pitchers, A.J. Burnett, Cliff Lee, and Kyle Kendrick. Kyle is scheduled to pitch tomorrow against Bartolo Colon in the second of this 2-game series. Phillies are hoping to kind of make some, do some damage on this homestand. There's a high chopper towards second, and Murphy takes the high hop, one away. And sort of parlay the success that they had on the road, where they were 6-4 on all these games in the month of May here at Citizens Bank Park. They have 19 home games here in the month of May. It's kind of the opposite in April. If you play well here at home during this month of May, it'll set the tone leading into the run to the All-Star break in June and the first couple weeks of July. Rollins is grounded to short. He's also flied to right. And it's 1 ball and no strikes.
Well, it's always important to play at home. You want to feel like you have a home field advantage. And I think that's and trying to create some momentum at home.
Rollins pulls it foul past Pete Buchanan. And now it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, I know we keep reverting back to the success you guys had during your runs through division titles. There were a lot of successful years. I mean, those divisions were won with your success against divisional opponents, but also your success here at Citizens Bank Park.
Yeah, and you want the opponent to hate to come to your ballpark. Whether it's your offense, whether it's your pitching, whether it's your defense, whether it's a combination of all three. And I always believed that starting pitchers hated to come to Citizens Bank Ballpark because they didn't want to face our offense, number one, which I would agree with. But the other part to that is if they gave up 3 or 4 runs, I felt like they thought they were out of the game. And really, a 3 or 4 run lead in this ballpark, you're really not out of the game.
Even a 5-run deficit that the Phillies have right now. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Yeah, the pitch to Rollins. In the dirt, 2-2.
If you play long enough, you see a lot of things happen, and you see a lot of teams that have had leads. Played on a team in Seattle. We had a 10-run lead going into the 7th inning.
The ball is scooped up by Wright, and in time to get Rollins. Pretty good play, and there's 2 outs. You had a 7-run lead going into.
It was the 7th inning, and ended up losing that game. I mean, it was ridiculous. David Wright came up and kind of took a stab at it, and ended up in his glove and made a good play. When things are going right for you, that's what happens.
And they are going right for the Mets here tonight. So 2 outs. And Utley, who's grounded out and flied out to left, up for the 3rd time. 1 ball, no strikes.
And I recall in that game they took the starter out. It was Aaron Seeley. Took the starter out of that game. Give him, let the bullpen pick up the rest of the innings, and boom, boom, boom. Before you know it, we were down.
Aaron Seeley was a pretty good major league pitcher for a few years.
Very good pitcher.
There's a line drive base hit for Utley right back through the middle. So he's aboard with a 2-out single, and here comes Marlon Byrd. Well, Marlon crushed one his last time up.
And you could tell off the bat, too. It squared that ball up pretty good. It went a long way.
And for that home run and each one hit by the Phillies this year, 1 tree will be planted by the Pennsylvania Horticultural Society as part of Home Runs for Trees, a partnership between the Phillies, PHS, and Aramark. Home Runs for Trees is part of a project to restore the region's tree coverage. That one's hit out toward right center field. It's not that deep. Granderson's there, and he'll put it away. And the side is retired. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left. We've played 6. On to the 7th. It's 6-1 New York. Well, that's some good hair for our game summary brought to you by your local Honda dealers. It's the Mets 6, the Phillies 1. Daniel Murphy has 3 singles tonight and an RBI. Jonathan Neese, well, he's been front running after his team jumped out to a 3-0 lead. Marlon Byrd has provided the only run. A home run is 3rd of the year. Cole Hamels lasted 4 2/3. Then it was Roberto Hernandez and Mario Hollins, and Hollins begins his 2nd inning. And he'll face Chris Young, Curtis Granderson, and Josh Satin. Young has scored a couple of runs tonight. He's 1 for 2. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. .32 home runs for Chris Young back in 2007 with the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Remember that? He had a really good year that year.
He's the kind of guy that can get into runs where he'd belt 1 home run after another, but then he'd strike out a ton of times. And his average right now is at .211. That was basically where his average would sit for the year. 1-2 pitch to him. In the dirt, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
As we all know, it's all about making adjustments in the game. You have to adjust pitch to pitch, at bat to at bat, week to week, season to season.
Now toward right field, Marlon Byrd, a long run. Well, he ran right to the spot. He's under it, 1 away. So 4 up, 4 down for Mario Hollins. Well, these lucky fans are tonight's Citizens 7. They will each receive a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Citizens Bank with the most 7-day branches in the Philadelphia area. To find a branch near you, visit citizensbank.com. Now it is starting to pour again. As Curtis Granderson's the batter. And he fouls the first pitch back. It's 0-1. Sounds like a herd of horses running through the plains on our crowd mic. There's Brian Onora. He's the crew chief. Granderson fouls it away. 2-2. Kept that ball from not hitting him.
Yeah, I like the aggressiveness right there with Mario Hollins and Chooch.
Another foul ball off to the left and out of play, and remains 2-2 to Granderson. Granderson had 40 home runs 2 different years for the New York Yankees. Another guy like Chris Young at times during his career didn't hit for a high average. Didn't go as low as Young. There's a foul tip. Ruiz hangs on. 2 outs. 5 up, 5 down for Mario Hollins. And here's Josh Satin. It's that kind of night, trying to keep that throwing hand warm if you're Jimmy Rollins.
Warm and dry.
Warm and dry. It's probably dry even more than warm. You're right. in the dirt, and it's 2-1. Same for those folks.
You know, when your glove gets wet, especially on the inside, and you get water, rain on the back of your hands, I mean, sometimes it's quite difficult on these types of nights to find that dryness.
Fly ball to right field. It's going to carry a little ways, but Marlon Byrd is over, and he makes the catch. Good job by Mario Hollins. He's kind of quieted this Mets offense. 6 up, 6 down for him. We go to the bottom of the 7th. It's time to stretch here at Citizens Bank Park. The Phillies down by 5. Trail at 6-1. Brian Honora was talking to Doug Eddings in between innings. Mike Buchholder came out and mentioned something to the home plate umpire. The rain has lightened up a little bit more as we begin the bottom of the 7th. Now the Phillies trail at 6-1. Ryan Howard will lead it off. And it's 0-1. By the way, Marshall was talking about Corey Seidman, how they'll have him on a little later on. If you ever get a chance, if you're looking for some quick preview of each of the series that the Phillies play, you can check out Corey's articles on CSNPhilly.com. He's always got some pretty cool stats and things to look at. 5 things to look at as the Phillies get set to take on their opposition each and every series. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Howard. Howard tonight is 1 for 2. He has one of the 3 hits that Jonathan Neese has surrendered. And he's down on strike. So 1 away here in the bottom of the 7th. Well, speaking of setting teams down, Mario Hollins has set the Mets down in order twice. And every time the Phillies do that, Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Here's Carlos Ruiz. He's 0 for 1. He walked his first time up, grounded out his last time. Oh, and 2. to give Nice credit tonight, even with the way the rain has started, stopped, how cool it's turned out to be. He doesn't seem fazed by it even a little bit. That ball's hit back toward the middle, and Carlos has a base hit. He's hit in 4 straight ball games. 4th hitter tonight for the Phillies.
It's a good point, Tom, and you really have to get to a point where you can't let the weather affect you. Everybody's got to be out there playing in it, both teams, and regardless if it's cold, if it's hot, wet, you've got to do whatever you can do to compete and prepare mentally as well as physically.
Dominic Brown is down at the count 0-1. Can you remember the worst conditions you ever pitched in, whether it be cold weather or whether it be wind? Is there anything that really jumps out? I mean, you pitched in Chicago.
Well, yeah, I pitched in Chicago. Obviously, in the beginning of the season, it's quite cold. Also pitched a day where it was 105, 107 degrees. That was I think I lost like 12 pounds.
Was that down in Miami?
No, it was when I was with the Cubs in Chicago.
With the Cubs, okay.
Yeah. And there were several times in which ballpark what were they calling it at that
either
point?
Land Shark or Dolphin Stadium or Dolphin Stadium. It was one of those.
Quite a few nights there where it was very hot.
2 balls and 1 strike to Brown. Swing and a miss, 2-2. And a called strike 3. Brown's down looking. 2 strikeouts here in the 7th for Nice. And Jason Nix is coming up. Scott Rice is the left-hander starting to throw. Daisuke was throwing a moment ago. Oh, there he is. Nix is 0 for 2. He's grounded out. He's also popped out to short. Out of play. Ball doesn't have that same sound off the bat as it's progressed here today.
Mm-hmm. It feels like it's getting a little cooler too.
105 pitches for Nice. It's probably done after the 7th inning. Ball, 2 strikes to Nix. Outside, 2-2. Tell you what, this field has really held up too. I know they've worked on it from time to time, but it doesn't look like there's anything puddling up anywhere. Maybe over by the first base umpire, Brian Onura. And a called strike 3. Nix is down looking. Side is retired. And I believe Brian Onura is going to put the tarp on the field here. We'll see. He's walking in to talk to Mike Buchholder. We'll give you an update when we come back. Honda. Visit your local Delaware Valley Honda dealer or shophonda.com. Buy McDonald's. Any size hot or iced coffee is just $1. McDonald's, I'm loving it. And buy the Quality Plus Ford stores. Go further. Jeff Manship is the new pitcher for the Phillies. They decided not to put the tarp on the field. They decided to just throw some Diamond Dry down on the mound and sort of soak up the moisture. So they were out there pretty quick. Brian Onora and Mike Buchholder talked for a moment. So as Manship warms up, let's go over to Murph with the Major League Notebook. Murph?
All right, thank you very much, Tom. Brought to you by Gwen Mercy University. And the New York Yankees look like they're going to be without Michael Pineda for more than that 10-game suspension, because as he was throwing a simulated game today to kind of keep sharp while on that suspension, he had to leave after one inning because he felt some tightness in his lat. He is going to have an MRI tomorrow, so a 10-game suspension, but it looks like perhaps he might be missing a little bit more time because of the injury. And big news in the NL East, we heard earlier this afternoon that Bryce Harper had surgery on his thumb, that after diving back into a bag and tearing a ligament in his thumb, so he had surgery to repair that today, and Bryce Harper's going to be out for at least 2 months. They're hoping to get him back after the All-Star break, so certainly some big news happening in the NL East. And I'm surprised they did not put the tarp on, because it's raining out here.
Murph, you look like you're prepared to do a Weather Channel report right now.
All I need is some wind, and I'll be ready to go.
Where are you, actually?
I'm up in the Hall of Fame level.
You're in the Hall?
Not far from you. You're over there.
You're not undercover yet, though.
I am not. Can I go now?
You can go get undercover, unless you have anything else you want to add.
Nope, I'm good.
Jeff Manship will take over his 9th ball game, 1-0 with a 6.75 ERA. And Travis d'Arnaud swings at the first pitch. It's 0-1. There he is. Bailing for some cover. He doesn't care. He's been down near the dugout most of the night. He and the rest of the fans that have come out tonight, hats off to them. Fly ball, right side. That'll go into shallow right field for Marlon Byrd. He'll call up Chase Utley. And one out here in the top of the 8th inning. All right, so how do we look at Mario Hollins as 6 up, 6 down? I mean, fastball topped off at 94. He worked quickly. He threw strikes.
He did exactly what he was supposed to do. He was ahead of 4 of the 6 hitters. First pitch strikes, 2 fly balls, 2 ground balls, 2 strikeouts. You know, when after the hitter uses fastball very effectively, actually threw a couple of changeups in there as well. But predominantly threw a lot of fastballs.
He was on a relief for Roberto Hernandez, who retired, the only batter he faced. That ball's hit toward third. Nice play by Nix, right around the bag. Low throw, dug out by Howard. Yeah, there are 2 outs here in the 8th inning. Good play all the way around.
Yeah, that's a tough play on a wet grass. Trying to get your footing. Goes to his right. Gets his feet underneath him. Fortunately, he was on the dirt. If he ended up having to get into the grass there, it might have been tough for him to get some footing. And Ryan made a great pick right there.
Well, 2 outs, and Lucas Duda will be the pinch hitter for the Mets here in the top of the 8th inning. Fly ball to center field, so an easy inning for Manship as long as Revere can take care of this one. It's a 4-pitch 8th inning. Nothing across. Phillies bullpen has done its job. They've faced 10. They've retired all 10. Let's see if the offense can get something rolling in the bottom of the 8th. defensive plays of the game. The hot corner's been busy tonight with these defensive plays of the game.
It has. Well, pretty nice plays. All reaction type plays. And by very qualified defensive players. Cold, wet night. Body doesn't want to move quite as easily as it normally does.
I thought that was just with age. I didn't know it was because of cold nights. Here's Lucas Duda, who will take over at first after pinch hitting for the pitcher. Daisuke Matsuzaka will be the new pitcher for the Mets. His 6th ball game. No wins, no losses, a 1.35 ERA. Daisuke's been a starting pitcher for most of his big league career. But he's relieving here for the Mets. And he will face Cody Ashe, who will be the pinch hitter. And at the top of the order, Ben Revere and Jimmy Rollins. Well, obviously, this is not the way the Phillies had hoped to begin their homestand. It's their first opportunity to face the Mets as they dive back into the National League East. There's Sean Camp warming up. Phillies had been 4-2 against the National League East coming in. You know, the Braves have already played 18 games against the National League East, whereas the Phillies have played a lot of games against the West. The Braves have already played 18 against the National League East.
It's really interesting how the schedule is being set up with the interleague play. You know, I mean, the Phillies open up the season in Texas. You know, in interleague play. I guess there's always a series during the course of the year that's interleague play. Do I understand that correct?
Always a series. Yep, the way it's set up. In fact, if you look up at the board, Pittsburgh was supposed to take on Baltimore tonight. That was rained out. Ashe takes a first pitch outside. It's 1 ball and no strikes. And Washington is playing Houston. So there are 2 going on at this time. Blowing in, 2-0. Ashe hitting an even 200 with a home run and 6 runs batted in. That'll slice out of play. 2 balls and 1 strike to Ashe. That cat with the sideburns right there just wiped out going for that baseball.
And ended up not getting it, huh?
No, his hands are cold. It was a valiant effort. Blow it in, 3-1. Jonathan Neese goes 7 innings tonight. He allows just 4 hits and 1 run. The 1 run was the home run by Marlon Byrd. Out of play, and it's 3-2. Ready? Whoop!
Ooh.
Who hasn't done that before, right? You haven't done that before?
I can't admit to that one. No, I don't think it's happened.
What about that time when you ran into the umpire when you were running around the bases?
Oh, he got in my way.
That's true. It wasn't you that slipped. It was the umpire that slipped. Who was the umpire?
That was Randy Marsh.
Oh, yeah, Randy Marsh. Time now for our cold hard fact, brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Lights. The Flyers have a 9-6 record all time in Game 7s. They won their last Game 7 by a score of 5-2 over the Sabres on April 26, 2011. The Flyers fans will be having their eyes focused on that Game 7 tomorrow in Madison Square Garden. 0-1 to Ben Revere. Revere is 0 for 3. He's flied out. He is struck out, but he's grounded out. One ball, 1 strike. Mets bullpen has an earned run average of 4.08. That's 22nd in Major League Baseball. I'm saying that because they can give up some runs with the best of them.
Yeah, and if that at that pace, if over the course of a season, it's really tough on the starting pitching because you find that they're not reliable enough. And I'm sure it will level off at some point, but if it maintains the pace, which probably means too they'll be shuffling guys in and out a lot as well.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Revere. Chopper towards short. It might be 2, even with Revere's speed, and whoop, not able to turn the double play. Get up the line. So fielder's choice, 6-4 on the putout. Well, let's flash back to 2008. There he is, perfect technique, laying down the bunt. Look out, Randy Marsh.
Look at that speed.
Bam. You thought the Rangers and the Flyers were battling tonight against the Brewers.
Not over yet. Woo. That was a long run.
Fortunately, Steve Smith had the oxygen. Look at Randy Marsh's face. Randy's a good guy.
He's a great guy. I did call him and apologize for that.
Oh, did you really?
I did.
He wasn't going to stand in your way. You were smelling 3 on that one.
Well, no. The only reason I get to third is they made an overthrow at second base.
Oh, that's right. You were just smelling salts is what you were doing.
I need some water at second.
0-1 to Rollins. Rollins fouls it back. It's 0-2.
I just love the creativity of the boys in the truck.
Down in the cavity.
Yeah. Appreciate y'all.
Randy admitted after the game that he was a little off balance, that if he had seen you coming, he would have been able to prepare himself a little bit more.
Well, I didn't find out till after the game when I called him. He had just come back. He had a heart stent put in.
And that probably made you feel really good.
Yeah, that was his first game back. Yeah, it crushed me. But he did admit he was in the wrong place and he was watching the ball, and but still, you don't want that to happen.
He was mesmerized by your speed. As Rollins is down looking, he thought that pitch was low. Even in a 6-1 game, there are 2 outs.
I didn't realize how slow I was.
Oh, we slowed it down.
Oh,
we were doing slow-mo.
Oh,
yeah, we were doing slow-mo. We wanted to gather every bit of that.
Yeah.
There's Chase Utley. Utley's 1 for 3. Runner goes, and Revere will get to second without a throw. Now they've scored that a stolen base, so that's number 10 for Revere. One and one. That is the first runner in scoring position tonight for the Phillies. Joining a Major League Scoreboard, we mentioned a little interleague play was going on tonight. The Nationals and the Astros are tied at 3. Jason Worth has a couple hits, including a home run. Nationals, as Murph was mentioning, they're going to be playing without Bryce Harper for some time. Harper had successful surgery today on that thumb. When they come into town this weekend, they're going to have a variety of guys playing left field, including Kevin Franzen, the former Phil. 2-2 to Chase. Fly ball down the left field line. It's slicing toward foul territory, and it's a foul ball, excuse me. Missed by Eric Young. Revere scores. Boy, that looked like a fair ball.
It did.
That is a play that they can challenge. I don't know if they would. Marvin Hudson, third base umpire, went running down the line. I mean, he was right in front of it. Let's watch it again. No, he's in foul territory. Yeah, that's foul.
He touched it. Didn't he touch it in foul territory?
Touched it in foul territory, but it also landed. Yeah, he definitely touched it in foul territory.
Awfully close to the line. But after he touched it.
They could give him an error on that. They may have given him an error. There's an E on the board. So they have scored that an error to Eric Young in left. Fly ball left center field. Young is going to get another chance on this one. And again, he uses one hand to make the catch. This time, side is retired. Phillies leave one. And Jamie Moyer left Randy Marsh in the dust back in 2008. We'll be back at the top of the ninth. Of the game. Oh, it all started out okay for the Phillies first couple innings, but then in the third, Daniel Murphy, the first of 3 hits, he serves this one into right field. It scores Tejada, and then the 5th inning, things sort of unraveled as this ball was smoked to left by Ruben Tejada. Tejada with 2 hits tonight, including that 2-run single. Those are our W. Mason deliveries of the game. It wasn't pretty tonight early on, but it has been lately. The Phillies bullpen has retired 10 in a row. As we go to the top of the 9th inning. And Sean Kemp will take over. Only one appearance for Kemp so far. Scoreless one against the Dodgers the other day. It'll be Eric Young, Daniel Murphy, and David Wright against Sean Kemp. They've kept Eric Young off the base paths today. But others have performed for the Mets. They've kept Young and Wright off the base paths today.
Well, the walks really hurt Cole earlier in the evening.
Yeah, the 5 walks and 1 hit batter.
Two of those walks scored. The batter scored. And you really can't defense a walk, unfortunately.
And there was also the bases loaded walk to Nice, the pitcher. He didn't score, but he drove in a run. 1-2 pitch. Back toward the middle and into center field, a base hit. So Young is aboard to start the 9th inning for the Mets. Anybody that's played in this ballpark knows that 5 runs is not a walk in the park to defend. Even though the Phillies have just one more at bat. So if you're the Mets, you're going to try to add on here in the top of the 9th inning.
Nice golf swing, baby. Swing, banner. Shave your beard. Where's your razor?
Curveball, and it's in there, 0-1. I say curveball, but Camp's breaking pitch is more of a slider than a curve.
Hey, Danielle, your shoes untied.
Ben Revere out in center field. The wind takes it over to left center, 1 away.
You got your Murphy! You got your number! It's not Murphy's fault, baby.
Third baseman David Wright.
Right, he's 0 for 4. He's flied out twice. He's popped out and he's grounded out. The little get me over slider certainly helps.
And it's always nice when you get ahead in the count.
This could be 2. Utley at second, flips to second for 1, and then it's a 4-6-3 double play. Great job by the Phillies bullpen tonight. The Mets have not scored a run since the 5th. They haven't scored a run against the Phillies bullpen. They've managed only 1 hit. Last chance when we get back. That's next week. And then Monday, May 26th, it's a 5:05 start with the Colorado Rockies in town. Order your tickets now by going to Phillies.com. Well, tonight was a Hatfield Dollar Dog night. And even with the rain, I'm sure folks enjoyed their Dollar Dogs. Tonight was also the Philadelphia Science Festival night here at Citizens Bank Park. There were vendors all around the ballpark. Sean Camp was able to work a scoreless 9th inning to give the Phils offense a chance down by 5. Some of those vendors included NASA, the Franklin Institute, Philadelphia Zoo, John Hines National Wildlife Refuge. And it was all sponsored by Dow. the Dow race car was here, not that guy's race car. Well, there is still a smattering of folks that are hoping that the Phillies have one run in them here in the bottom of the 9th inning, because it's been a quiet night offensively. The Mets may have obliged by bringing in a guy that doesn't always know where the ball's going, in Jose Valverde.
Yeah, he's had his share of struggles at times throwing strikes. He does bring a healthy fastball, 93 to 98 mile an hour fast, 4-seam fastball. He's also got a 2-seam fastball, power slider, and a split.
Well, he'll face Marlon Byrd, Ryan Howard, Carlos Ruiz here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Marlon has a home run tonight. That's the only run the Phillies have scored. Came back in the 4th. First pitch is outside. It's 1-0. There was a point this year when Valverde was the closer. The closer now is Kyle Farnsworth. Bobby Parnell was the closer, but he's down with an injury.
Didn't have to be. Right there.
It didn't have to be a strike. No. Marlon didn't say too much, but you can see by his face that he thought that was a tad low. And the 1-ball, 1-strike pitch to Marlon. Duda will give it a look. He may have a play on this one. Nope. It's back a row.
Go Bird!
Tomorrow night it'll be Bartolo Colon against Kyle Kendrick. Game time is 7:05. Will be on the Comcast network. One and two to Marlon Byrd. Broke his bat. And David Wright takes it on one hop. But he throws out Byrd, one away. Immediately after the game, stay tuned for Ben Davis's analysis of Cole's performance tonight against the Mets. Only on Cure Auto Insurance presents Phillies Post Game Live. Hamels started tonight for the Phillies and wasn't able to get through the 5th. Jonathan Neese started for the Mets. He got through 7. Here's Ryan Howard. He singled in the 4th. 1 for 3.
Come on, Ryan! Do it for Bluebell, baby! Woo!
2 balls and 1 strike to Howard. What are we expecting from Bartolo Colon tomorrow? We haven't seen him in a while.
We're going to see a lot of fastballs. Something he's been able to do. I don't want to say get away with, but I'd say he throws about 90% fastballs. I don't know where his velocity is at this point, but I'm sure it's still pretty firm. Love to see another game like Kyle threw out there in L.A. And he keeps pitching games like that. Good things are going to happen for him.
Kyle pitched well against the Dodgers, pitched well against the Rockies. He suffered the loss in the game against the Rockies, but he only allowed the 3 runs out of Coors Field. 3 balls and 1 strike to Ryan Howard.
Love to see him take matters into his own hands and throw a 9-inning complete game, about 102 pitches.
A That ball is smoked to left field. Young on the run. It's slicing away from him, and it's a fair ball into the corner. Young's throw coming towards second, and Howard will slide in safely for the one-out double. On another night, that ball may have gone out of the ballpark. The wind is whipping over toward the corner.
Yeah, it really pushed that ball into the corner. Had a lot of slice to it.
Ryan didn't pose as he normally does when he knows the ball's going out of the yard. That may have been your first indication. Here's Carlos Ruiz. He's got a single tonight, and he's also walked. He grounded out in the fourth. First pitch over at the knees. It's 0-1. One to Carlos. Ooh. That'll get your heart racing a little bit.
Can't be a good feeling.
I don't even think he meant to do it. I think it just got away. Over to shortstop. Tejada over to his left. And there are 2 outs here in the 9th inning. Phillies are down to their final out with Howard at second. I mentioned the Phillies were trying to get to 2 games over 500. That's how tough this stretch has been over the last year plus. 2 games over 500 for the first time since the October of 2012. They weren't 2 games over at all last year. Dominic's 0 for 3 tonight.
Well, as we've alluded to, and we saw when the Phillies went to the West Coast, it starts with starting pitching.
Yep.
And you've got to be able to get yourself deep enough into the game and give your offense a chance to score, put some runs up, and then hand it over to the bullpen.
Yeah, this is now 10 games here at home for the Phillies. They've scored a total of 33 runs in those 10 games. Now, it starts with the starting pitching, but when you're in the hole, it kind of changes the complexion of your offense, too.
It does, but we're also in a ballpark that
should score some more runs.
It's conducive to scoring runs.
Absolutely.
Maybe not as much here in the cooler weather, but as it warms up, I think we're going to see a little bit more of that.
Yeah, this is sort of a combo effect. The starting pitching, but also the offense. The first 10 games there at Citizens Bank Park. 2 balls, 1 strike to Brown. Just have to wear jeans to the park. That's all you need. Everything else will just slow you down. They'll keep you warm, but it's going to slow you down. 2-2 pitch to Brown. Low ball 3. Toward right field. Playable for Granderson. This is going to do it, and the Mets will take game 1 of this series by a final score of 6-1 over the Phillies. In the 9th inning, no runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left for the Phils. Daniel Murphy, he provided the spark early along with Ruben Tejada and a couple other guys. who don't normally contribute offensively. But the night really did belong to Jonathan Neese, the starting pitcher for the Mets. He was in total control. He was easy tonight. His delivery was easy. His command was easy. Everything worked for him tonight.
Yeah, he located a lot of fastballs, got ahead in a lot of counts. And the Phillies had, when they did hit the ball, they hit it at people.
He wasn't overpowering, and he's not an overpowering pitcher.
He's not.
But he was getting in the right spots. Even the sounds off the bat were different, except for Marlon Byrd's home run. And he would raise the eyes of the hitters and get those strikeouts. A couple looking, one swinging by Howard. And he is our Chevrolet player of the game. Terry Collins' team takes game one of this 2-game series. 6-1 the final score. The Mets have defeated the Phillies. We'll be back to talk a little bit more about it right after this.